Okay, so vlog 8. Right, for the next few vlogs, I thought I'd start discussing topics related to my business idea, rather than showing you motorbikes and guitars and things like that. So with that in mind, I believe conversations are really important. The reasons I believe that will follow in other vlogs. For now, I just want to discuss one of the many aspects of conversations that are often all too easily overlooked. In the absence of telepathy, to be able to communicate accurately and hence convey an idea, we're stuck with using words. So it's vital that we ensure we have at least some indication of what those words mean when someone else is using them. And I put the emphasis on someone else. Some of you may be thinking, what's he going on about? Words are clearly defined in dictionaries. We just have to look there. So, well, sorry to shatter illusions in this case, but dictionaries do not define words. Dictionaries are they're not prescriptive, they are descriptive. In other words, they don't tell you how to use a word, they provide the current usage of a word. That's why for any given word, a dictionary will provide multiple usages for any one word. And even once that you know exactly what a particular dictionary says, the usages are, you then need to consider other things like which country is the speaker from. The US, England and Australia, we all share a common language. I'm saying England, by the way, I'm Scottish. But we all use a common language, English. But the expression lost in translation is very, very apt in these particular cases. The way the words are used, although they may have the same meaning, can cause confusion. I can give you an example. For example, I was working in California some years ago. We were implementing some new software. And the team that we were working with to implement it were doing it in a way that was just causing confusion. So we basically, we wanted them to do it a different way. So when we explained this to them, we prefaced our statements with, what we would suggest you do is when you're looking at and then we go into how we wanted them to do it. But because we use the words, what we suggest you do, they literally thought we were suggesting it. And this is one of the differences between the UK and the United States is often irony and sarcasm is overlooked, and they take your words literally. We were, of course, being a little bit ironic, and we were really just telling them to do it. Didn't work out that way. So, yeah, you have to be circumspect of the way other people use words. For example, that's never been a problem in Australia. Australians are very good at understanding sarcasm and irony. So that's one aspect you have to consider. Which part of the country the speaker is from as well is something else. I mean, for example, I'm Scottish. My dialect is completely different from somebody in Scotland that is just 50 miles away from me. It's the same language, obviously, but the way a Glaswegian would use words would be completely different from the way I would use words. So you have to take that into account as well. Another point to consider is how old they are, because meanings change over time. An example that I came across not so long ago was there's a very, very old Hollywood film. It's called The Gay Divorcee. And my 19-year-old stepson actually thought it was about a gay man who was divorced and what his life was going to be like. It's a far older film than that, and it was really just talking about a chap who was happy to be divorced. Again, the word gay, the word usage changed over time. So it caused confusion for my stepson in that case, and it can happen all too often. There are other things we need to consider, like, for example, what profession are they from? I've seen debates between people, theists and atheists, for example, and the word theory is often misconstrued to mean a vague idea. They're not really sure. It's just a thought. Whereas a scientist would never ever use the word theory in that way. Excuse me, guys. It's my screen just went off. Hopefully it's still recording. Yes, we're back on. And I think it's still going, yes. So, yes. So the profession of a person can have an impact on how words are used. And often that type of distinction is not included in the usages in a dictionary. The list goes on anyway. There are so many things you need to consider. And that's just when we're trying to impart the meaning of a word when we're speaking. I'm sure all of us have been offended by emails at times. When words are used in writing, they can convey meanings that the author just simply wasn't meaning to convey at all. So, words are really, really important. And then there's the actual words themselves. There are certain words that people use that are really difficult to translate into just one usage. For example, words like spiritual, words like wise, words like love. You hear me use these words and you think, well, I know what that means. But the reality is when you're actually asked to sit down and describe those words in the way that you would use them, it would be different from the way somebody else would use them. And the dictionaries cannot cover that plethora of usage. They will have a usage in the dictionary, but by and large, they are used in a multitude of different ways by different people. So it's okay if you're just trying to convey just a general notion, but if the word is critical to the understanding a specific idea or concept, then defining how that word is used is critical to understanding the speaker's meaning. So, I believe conversations are really important, and I believe that definitions of words are just as important. And that will do for now. Thank you all very much.